Hey, this is Gordon. I go by Vladimir the Badimir online. I wanted to make this quick video on using reference images in Blender because I was working on a project. Um, I'm doing a sculpt of D from Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. So I just did some Google image searching, and thankfully I found a website with what looks to be just a bunch of character design sheets from the movie. So I got this great full body image of D. Let's see, what else do I have here? I think I actually have got two images up right now. Yeah, here's the other one that I have. So like this is probably like an expression sheet, character reference sheet for the animators. Um, I don't 100% know the design heritage of Dee's character. I think it was Yoshitaka Amano who did the book illustrations first. But as I was like looking through all this concept art, I noticed that Yasushi Nirasawa's name was on some of the designs. So maybe he was involved. Um, uh, but obviously, tons of people work on a movie. But great thing about the internet now is you can just Google image search for these types of reference images. You don't have to pay over $100 for the Japanese art book, which may or may not be in stock and may be hard to find. You can just find the images, save those images to your computer, and then in Blender, I want to make sure that I'm in object mode to just add an image. Um, I can do, let's see. Where's the add? Oh yeah, so it's under the add menu. So I'm sure it's buried in one of these menu trees anyways, but how I do it is I just do Shift A for add. And then it's one of the choices right here for image. So I can pick a reference image. And this just lets me dig around in my computer's files and pull up a reference image. So like here's one of D's back. So we'll load the reference image. It loads in whatever scale the Blender environment is set to. So it might not be correctly scaled for what you're working on. So let's see here. If I where's D's head? No, it's here. Yeah, so here's D's head. So like if I wanted to actually have this be helpful, I would want to move this around. I'm using G to grab it. For some reason, the handles don't work on the images. I still haven't figured that out. So I just use the keyboard shortcuts. So G to grab and position, S to scale. So let's actually put his hat on so I can like line this up. And so you can line the image right up to whatever you're sculpting. Whoops. And let's see here. Oops. So don't warp the image like I just did. S. All right, so pretty good. And so what I could even do is I can grab I have the image sort of set to the whatever this is, the ZX plane. But if I hold Alt and then use my middle mouse button to rotate to the side, I can actually shift this back a little bit. And that way, when I have it displayed like that, and I turn my front image back on, I can have his front pose here and his back pose there. And so I could come in and, start blocking out more shapes with the Shift A to add, could add another mesh, could add in another UV sphere, G to grab, S to scale. G to grab again, put that like right there-ish. G to grab. Then go up to the corner here, switch to sculpt mode, use the elastic deform tool, set the X symmetry to mirror, and like I could start, blocking out his rib cage here. And so this does require, you have to have some, I would say, some experience with having experience sculpting with physical media like clay really helps here in sort of what does it look like to take a two-dimensional image that you have as reference and use that kind of reference for proportion. But then how do you make that into 3 dimensions? And so, I'm getting a good amount of information about the silhouette, but like I happen to know that just from both observation of drawing and then sculpting a bunch that the human rib cage isn't just a big circle or a big sphere. It kind of goes up and back like this. The curvature of the spine kind of goes like an S like that. And the ribs curve down here so that you can house the lungs. And the diaphragm muscle would be like here. So, you gotta, I'm filling in a lot of the dots here with my own external knowledge. And so that's also why I'll stop screen sharing here for a second and switch over to my camera. That's why I keep toys on my desk all the time, and having a 3D object just to check, how does the spine curve? Even though this Batman is different proportions than D is, having readily available reference that you can kind of check and then composite or merge into whatever you're working on is how you got to do it. But I did want to just show the technical piece of how you can add in images like this into Blender. And if you're lucky and like say you're doing a professional job or you commission someone to do a design of your character, ideally you'd want as many views as you could get of the character. You'd want like a front view, a back view, and a side view. I'm lucky that I got a front and back here, but I don't think I have a clean side view of D. I can like hunt around some more, but this is pretty good for me starting out. And so really what I was working on was getting the proportions of the face right. And so here, if I hide some of this stuff, let's go back to object mode. What I was doing was I had just kind of lined up D's face just right along the side here, and I actually had it offset like this. So, checking the relative position of the eyes, how does his nose go? Where does his mouth land? He's got this like crazy narrow chin. I could actually probably narrow this down. And then for, this is kind of because it's a full body shot, it gets kind of low res at this scale. So that's where this other face image was helpful, of like here we really get into his eyes. And you can also see like his nose kind of hooks down a little bit. So if I like zoom in here, he's got this really kind of dramatic pointy nose and then these little flary nostrils, and like the edges of his mouth line up with his tear ducts here. And so that's all information that I got from these close-ups of the face. So that's how I'm using references. Hope this is interesting. Hope this is helpful. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a question if there's anything I can answer about it.